You ever lose something or misplace it when you're out and you get back home and then you get into a panic, so you run back down to a shop you're in because you think maybe you've left your house keys there or your credit card, or perhaps a bag full of comic books which you bought at the store only to find when you go back down there that they're back up there on the shelf as if the purchase never took place. I'm still a bit bitter about that. We've all done it. We've went into that autopilot zone where we're not really thinking about what we're doing, or perhaps we do some really strange things as if we've had some sort of weird neurological lapse. It's nothing to worry about. It's a perfectly ordinary side effect of the human brain. I mean, like last week I tried to put a tub of butter in the microwave. I may have presenile dementia. What some people take exception to is when, instead of misplacing your favourite jacket, you misplaced your 8-year-old child. And this is exactly what David Cameron, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, did just a few short weeks ago. What makes this even more hilarious is the fact that the poor kid was left in a pub. But don't worry about it. I'm sure she was looked after by some very, very kind and generous alcoholics who I'm sure shared some drinks with her, just one or two, because it's nice to be nice. The story behind this one is that the Camerons went out on a delightful day trip to a pub. A little bit of lunch, maybe a little cheeky beer, while of course talking about those lovable scrounging underclasses and how to crush them, while of course helping out the billionaire types through this sad and difficult time. After probably polishing off the ashes of a nearby homeless family and washing them down with some fava beans and a nice Chianti, the Camerons broke off into two less evil factions, with Mrs. Cameron and some of the children going into one car and Mr. Cameron bravely sitting in another car filled with bodyguards. On returning home, David Cameron and his wife realised that they were the stars of Home Alone 6, Where the Fuck's Our Princess, as they had comically left their 8-year-old daughter in a pub. But don't worry, at that point she was probably involved in some sort of hysterical prank with Joe Pesci and her marble collection. But the Camerons rushed down there and saved her, brought her home, and the upper classes lived happily ever after. The end. All jokes aside, I've been watching the coverage of this and it's been really pretty ridiculous. It's been on the front page of the BBC website, it's been in numerous newspapers and covered by numerous news agencies. And I've noticed as well that the comment sections, like online, have been full of people saying things like, "This is outrageous! How can we expect him to look after the country if he can't even look after his kids?"
Where might I find this David Cameron you speak of? I've been trying to lose my child for ages, but he keeps finding his way back.
Too dark? I'm sorry. This is why the political landscape is covered in crap and why nothing ever seems to get done properly, because all people are interested in is some sort of terrible popularity contest where people are constantly scoring points off of one another, using anything to make the other side look bad. Now, I think you can tell by listening to me that in terms of my politics, I lean to the left, and David Cameron sits on the right hand side of the devil. But all jokes aside, and I know that in this video there have been thinly veiled rubbish political jokes made at the expense of Mr. Cameron, I want my politicians to debate policy in terms of evidence, logic, ethics and legality. That's it. That's what I want them to do. Not in terms of maybe we can make him look really bad and then people will vote for us and then I'll be in power. So the Prime Minister left his kid in a pub for 15 minutes when he was out with his family. These things happen. It's kind of funny because he's a Prime Minister, but for all those who are feigning moral outrage when really it's just a veiled attempt at some sort of political posturing, you go and ask any reasonable parent if they think anything like this could ever possibly happen to them. How many times have you heard a parent talking about that most terrifying day when I lost my child in the housewares section of a supermarket for a few minutes? It was absolutely terrifying. Or when someone's child wanders off when they should have been supervised, or a parent forgets to pick up their kid from school. The truth of the matter is that these things happen all the time, and it's mainly because the human brain retains information like a pound of mince. What does any of this have to do with David Cameron's ability to govern properly?
Well, if he can't look after his children, how are we supposed to expect him to look after us?
Bullshit, as Arnie said. This has nothing to do with debating policy and everything to do with publicity point scoring, hoping to take advantage of people who are easily swayed by so-called scandal. If you want to criticise Cameron, then do it because of what he does or what he has stood for. And it's quite easy to do that. Austerity measures, his concept of big society, and his cosy relationship with the Murdoch media empire. These are the things that people should be talking about, not two parents having a misunderstanding resulting in their child going AWOL for a quarter of an hour. You see, this is the problem. We've been indoctrinated into a system whereby it's culturally and socially acceptable to support a political party like a football team, casting the opposition in a negative light no matter what they say, no matter how much some of their ideas might make sense, and casting your own team as the heroes, the goodies, in a positive light no matter what. What should happen is that people should look at the policies individually of each party and weigh up the merits of each policy, and then look overall and say, okay, do you support enough of their policies to actually affiliate yourself with them? That is how it should work. If the political party that you support starts doing things you disagree with and starts doing a lot of things that you don't like, then stop giving them your support. If political leaders on the opposition start to become more appealing to you because of what they stand for and how you think they'll govern, then give them your support. You don't have to have any inbuilt affiliation for any political ideology. It's all connected to the public's fascination with persona. We seem to elect personalities now more than policymakers. What should happen is that you should be able to look at a politician and judge them in terms of their ability to govern and get things done, not based on any sort of gaffes, however hilarious they may be, and how they may affect your view of them as a person. It's not about that. It's about how well they can do the job. Sure, some politicians will do some things in their personal lives which will make you think, they shouldn't be in a position of power. Fraud, murder, rape, listening to Justin Bieber. So there are things that you will just write off right away and say, they cannot do that, it will affect their office. But for the most part, their personal life is their personal life. And certainly, I'm not going to judge David Cameron and his ability to govern based on the fact that he lost his kid for a few minutes. So please, if you're going to disagree with a politician, do it because you disagree with their stance, not because one afternoon they happen to take a trip into a John Hughes movie. That's all I really wanted to say about it. So what do you guys think about it? What do you guys think about us judging politicians based on some sort of gaffe rather than what they can actually do? Do you think the fact that a politician misplaced their child for 15 minutes actually affects or infers something about their ability to do their job? And please, if you're going to answer and debate this, it's not about political positions, because I disagree with most of what David Cameron stands for and has done. I'm talking about, do you think that these things do affect their ability to govern? So that's about it. I hope you're all having a good day. I need to go now because I've left a troop of vulnerable orphans with some guy at dry cleaners. He seemed really nice. I think his name was Joseph Fritzo. He had a moustache and a trench coat, and if that's not the mark of a man you can trust, I don't know what is. Shit. This has nothing to do with